We have breaking news just now into our newsroom. We have learned that an Iraan bus carrying cheerleaders was involved in a crash tonight. We are told that was along Interstate 20 just outside of Big Spring. That's according to one of the mothers. Here's a look at where the crash happened. As we said, it was between mile marker 174 and 176. This is located on Interstate 20 near Big Spring. We are told the cheerleaders on the bus from the Iraan Sheffield School District were on their way back from Colorado City, heading to Iraan after their playoff game in Colorado City when this crash happened. We are told there are 3 people injured. In fact, let's get an update now. CBS 7's Sarah Holden is standing by now. She is on the scene. Sarah, give us the very latest that you know out there.
Jay, right now I'm being told by our sources with Iraan ISD that this bus was specifically responsible for carrying the cheerleaders and the cheerleading sponsors, and that 3 individuals specifically were injured in this accident. So far, we know that Christina Garlick, a cheerleading sponsor, was pinned and was unable to get out of the vehicle. Right now, we don't have any more updates on her status, but last we checked, she was still inside of the bus, and the rescue forces were trying to remove her from the bus. We also know that one of the cheerleaders was badly injured and suffered severe injuries to her leg. She was transported by ground to Scenic Mountain Medical Center here in Big Spring. We also know that another JV sponsor, Liz Pope, was injured the worst. No word yet on the extent of her injuries, but she was transported to Scenic Mountain Medical Center here in Big Spring as well. Now, we also know that Iraan ISD principal Jim Baum is on scene right now, making sure that everyone is being taken care of. As you can see, behind the cheerleading bus is also the bus that the football players were on. So he has a lot of students to worry about right now. We are being told that all of the parents have been notified, and many of them are on their way to pick up their students if they have not already. So again, Principal Jim Baum is making sure that all of the Iraan students are being taken care of. What we can see, we do know right now that this accident is bigger than people originally thought. There was an 18-wheeler involved, as well as about another car that's about a half a mile up the interstate that also appears to be badly wrecked. So right now, what it appears is that this was a multi-vehicle crash. A lot of components involved in this crash. We don't know the extent of what caused the crash yet. We're working to get those answers for everyone. But Jay, I'm going to send it back to you.
Once again, to just get you up to date here as we push closer to midnight here, cheerleaders from the Iraan Sheffield School District on their way back from a playoff game in Colorado City, their football team playing tonight. They were on their way home when this crash happened. As you heard Sarah Holden say, it's multiple vehicles that are involved with this, not just the Iraan school bus, but also an 18-wheeler, perhaps another car. We know that 3 people are injured. She mentioned names. A couple of those were sponsors, and I believe one cheerleader that she mentioned that was injured had some leg injuries, taken to Scenic Mountain Medical Center. We do not know the extent of those injuries other than what's been told to Sarah. She has been in contact with Jim Bond, who is the principal from the Iraan Sheffield School District. Once again, this is located on Interstate 20. It's between mile marker 174 and 176. You're looking right now at live images now from our camera there on the scene. Our crew was at that football game on their way back as well, came upon the particular crash, and they are now pulling double duty after shooting the football game last night. As you heard from Sarah, school district parents have been notified by the principal, Jim Bond. He has informed them of what happened. Those parents, I believe, according to her, are on their way up to pick up their students. There is also a football bus, she says, that is there, so the football players must have been behind the cheerleaders on their way. They have stopped along the scene as well. That's according to Sarah Holland. We have been getting in contact with a lot of parents who have been contacting us. We've been receiving notifications from people. We've also reached out to KBS Media to talk to and try and get some information. Melinda Flanagan saying that they have no new updates on the information. We'll continue to follow that. We'll get an update right now. You say we have Sarah Holden now with more information?
Well, Jay, right now we know that there have been at least 3 people injured in the bus crash, and right now we do know that everybody who suffered an injury in this crash has been transported by ground to Scenic Mountain Medical Center here in Big Spring. We also know that Iraan ISD Principal Jim Baum is on scene right now, working to make sure that everyone is being taken care of, whether that's football players, cheerleaders, or even just people out here on scene. We've also seen Big Spring Police Task Force out here responding to this incident, as well as state troopers. So right now, like I said, everybody who has an injury or suffered an injury being transported by ground to Scenic Mountain Medical Center here in Big Spring. Jay, back to you.
We will continue to keep you out there and keep you so you can keep us up to date on what's going on there. We have received information. We can get a hold of the PR person from the hospital. If you want to try that number there, we may be able to get a hold of her and talk with her. No updates at this time, but they are working to get us some new information. Just to backtrack a little bit and let you know, this happened probably about 30 to 45 minutes ago. Students from the Iraan Sheffield School District on their way back from a playoff football game that was played in Colorado City when this bus crash happened. According to Sarah Holland on the scene, it may have involved multiple cars. You are looking now at live images. That is the Iraan bus that's involved. Sarah reporting that 3 people were injured, including 2 sponsors. One of them, I believe, was pinned into this bus, according to her. The bus we're showing is not the one that is damaged in the crash. This is actually the football team bus that is also there. There is a pileup, as you can see, cars that are backed up. This is a very active scene right now. She also says that all of those who were injured were taken out of the bus and are now on their way to the hospital to be treated. We don't know the extent of injuries, but we do know that there were 3 people, one believed to be a sponsor, a cheerleader sponsor, the other one perhaps a JV sponsor, and we were told by Sarah Holland that one of the cheerleaders perhaps was injured in this crash. Again, this happening about 45 minutes ago outside of Big Spring on Interstate 20 between mile marker 174 and 176. As you can see, emergency crews still on the scene. The principal of the Iraan Sheffield School District is also there on the scene as well. You saw another bus there, so some of those folks who have been traveling back may also be stopped in this. That area is going to be blocked off for quite some time. Sarah Holland reporting also perhaps that a 3rd car was involved with this crash. So the crash itself may have happened before the bus may have come up on this crash. We're not sure of those details. The Scenic Mountain Medical Center spokesperson is telling us what again? I'm sorry. They're going to release information to us shortly, so we're going to urge you to stay right here with us. We'll keep you up to date on this story. We'll, of course, update it on Facebook. We'll update it on our website as we get new information. 3 people injured in this crash, sent to Scenic Mountain Medical Center. We should be getting updates very soon. We'll keep you up to date. Keep it right here on CBS 7. We'll take you back to your regular program. We'll come back with more in just a little while. Good morning, everyone. We're continuing to track breaking news out of Howard County, where the Iraan cheerleaders were involved in a crash along Interstate 20. This happened about 11:30 on Friday night. We're now into Saturday morning. We're still continuing to follow. There were some injuries of this crash. We've been in contact with Scenic Mountain Medical Center. They tell us 8 people were taken from the scene. 2 of those people listed critical. 2 are serious. 1 is not severe. The injuries on the others could not be accounted for. They also tell us that 1 person is being transferred, but they can't tell us at this time where. They have no other updates, but they are continuing to keep an eye on what's going on there. Let's take a look at where this happened. This was located just off Interstate 20 between mile marker 174 and 176. Now, in speaking with Oscar Villarreal with DPS troopers, he said that the biggest challenge for crews and for emergency responders getting to there is a divider between the 4 lanes. If you travel this road, this is kind of the curve that goes across kind of an open area there just outside of Big Spring before you make the curve and continue on heading toward the east, toward the west. So there is a divider there, and that was a big problem for emergency crews trying to get over there. So that caused a problem. There's a lot of traffic there. We are told traffic is still backed up. Here are some of the images from earlier on. This was the crash scene. We are told that the bus, it was a Iraan Sheffield ISD bus carrying the cheerleaders, were on their way back from a football game. Iraan had played tonight in Colorado City. They were winners on the football field and were headed home back to Iraan when this crash happened along the interstate. It involves this bus. It an 18-wheeler. We are told perhaps a third car involved. We don't know all the details. DPS troopers have not released a preliminary report. In speaking with Oscar Villarreal, he says that crews are still out there working in his crews as well, trying to investigate the exact cause of this crash. Right now, there are no details into how this may have happened. We've had crews out there throughout the evening, in fact, and throughout the early morning hours. We're going to go right now to Sarah Holland. She has been out there. She was actually in Colorado City when the football team was playing this game tonight. They were on their way back as well and had to stop and cover this particular crash scene now, and she's been out there getting us details. Sarah joins us now live along Interstate 20 with more. Sarah, good evening.
Jay, I just want to give you a quick update on what's going on here at the scene of the accident. Big Spring ISD is trying to help out Iraan ISD in any way that they can. Just a few moments ago, Big Spring ISD sent 2 of their charter buses here to try and help all of the students that were on this bus carrying the band members as well as all of their items and their faculty. The bus was full of band members and faculty just a few moments ago, and as I mentioned, Big Spring ISD did send 2 charter buses out here to load all of those students safely and securely onto those charter buses, and just to try to get them back to their families safely so that Iraan doesn't have to worry about those students anymore and they can concentrate on the students that were sent to the hospital. Right now also with the traffic heading eastbound, DPS is trying to make sure that this traffic just keeps going. They don't want people stopping. A few people have tried to stop to see what's going on, but they don't want any other accidents caused. So right now, just trying to clear the scene. All of the students have been evacuated from the scene of the accident here. Jay, back to you.
Very much. Sarah Holden has been out there throughout the evening, now into the early morning hours there on the scene. They were one of the first ones on the scene when this crash happened, once again involving the Iraan Sheffield ISD school bus. So we've had crews really in 2 locations in Howard County. Right now, CBS 7's Brianna Gallegos has been talking to families at Scenic Mountain Medical Center. She joins us now live with that part of our story. Brianna?
Jay, as you mentioned, I am here at the hospital. Upon arriving, I learned some new details. When I arrived, there was a family coming from Midland. They said that their daughter was also involved in the accident. So we know that now the accident didn't just involve the 18-wheeler, it also involved another vehicle. The condition of that woman in that vehicle is unknown. I'm trying to gather as much information here right now. Family, as you can imagine, emotions are heightened. Families are just trying to get any answers. And right now, their main focus is to make sure that their loved ones are fine. So like I said, friends, family, parents are all here gathering, supporting each other, and just trying to make sure that everything is fine. As we do get updates on everyone's condition, we will let you know, and we'll be out here until we do get that information, and our thoughts are with the families. Jay, back to you.
Yeah, thanks very much. You're looking at footage right now from the scene. As you can see, DPS troopers still continuing their investigation. They typically work these crashes along the interstate, and so they will be trying to piece together exactly what happened. Emergency crews were also called out there, obviously, to take care of those people who were injured. We are told there were 8 patients taken to Scenic Mountain Medical Center. We have been told 2 critical, 2 serious, 1 not severe. We were also told that 1 person has been airlifted. We're not sure where. Or I shouldn't say airlifted, has been transferred to another hospital. I'm now being told, as an update now from Amanda Marino, now from Scenic Mountain Medical Center, they are actually transferring 4 patients. We don't know where they're headed. Just an update that I just received from her right now. So just to update you, we were told that 8 patients went. 2 critical, 2 serious, 1 not severe. We have now been updated that 4 people are being transferred. We're not sure where to continue their coverage. So this crash scene will be there for a while. As you can see, traffic is still moving slowly around it. That was a big problem for first responders getting out to the scene. Buses are still there. As Sarah Holland just told us, Big Spring sent out buses to get the students off of the band bus. They were stuck behind that particular bus, so there is quite a traffic jam on there on that interstate, again happening between mile marker 174 and 176. This happened about 11:30 tonight. We are now into 1:30 in the morning, and obviously this is still a very active scene. hospital is still active as well. And so we'll be following this story throughout the morning. We want to get up to date on these conditions and let you know. We will keep you up to date, certainly here online or here on the air. We'll also do it online on CBS7.com. Also on our Facebook page, we're continuing to work with DPS and also work with the officials with Iraan Sheffield ISD to try to get you the latest information. Parents have been notified, we are told. The principal telling Sarah Holden that they had got a hold of the parents and wanted them to come out there to pick up their children. So as Brianna Gallegos also reported, many of those families
10-4.
Details. We'll continue to follow this story. We'll bring you the latest as more information becomes available. Keep it right here on CBS 7 for more.
Back to the house.
Iraan bus carrying cheerleaders was involved in a crash tonight.
A night of celebration after a big playoff victory turned to devastation last night when a school bus carrying Iraan Sheffield ISD students and faculty slammed into an 18-wheeler along Interstate 20 in Howard County. Within the last 30 minutes, CBS 7 has confirmed what many people had feared. According to Iraan School Board President Margaret G. Holmes, a 52-year-old woman, Liz Castaneda Pope, the cheerleading sponsor, was killed in that crash last night. Now, we're also told her sister, Christina Castaneda Garlock, was also a cheer sponsor and was taken to a hospital in Lubbock, where she has been, we're told at this hour, transferred to a room there. Howard County Justice of the Peace Robert Fitzgibbons also has confirmed that the 52-year-old woman has died following the crash at the hospital. Now, 3 cheerleaders also remain in the hospital with multiple injuries, and several others were injured. We're told they have been released, many of them recovering at home from those injuries. You're looking at video right now from the scene last night. The bus was headed back to campus following that playoff football game in Colorado City, where the Iraan Braves defeated Monday High School. It was carrying cheerleaders and faculty, driving on some roads that were in some places under construction and covered in a light rain last night as well. Now, according to Scenic Mountain Medical Center, 8 people were originally injured, including 2 who were in critical condition. We do have some updates, and we are confirming that a 52-year-old woman, the cheer sponsor, was killed in that crash. We're going to go right now, joined live on the phone by Margaret G. Holmes. She is the president of the Iraan Sheffield ISD School District. Margaret, thank you so much for taking time to join us this morning. I can only imagine how sad you guys are this morning. Tell me, what is the feeling? I know you are grieving this morning.
We are heartbroken, and our community is grieving. And our thoughts and prayers are just with all the family and the injured people. We appreciate the coverage, and we're being sustained by the prayers from our community and reaching out to encourage one another.
And we hope that you have seen and felt the prayers and the support coming in from not only the West Texas community, but the state as well. Let me ask you a few questions about this. There were students from Iraan and Sheffield. For our viewers, help people understand these are 2 communities who share this school district, correct?
We are a consolidated school district, yes.
And tell me a little bit about the 2 women who were the cheer sponsors. We understand one of them did not survive this crash. They are sisters, which adds to the devastation here. Tell me about these people, if you know them.
Well, I know them well, and Christina's husband serves on the board with me as well, Stephen Garlock. And, of course, they have children in band and football and cheerleaders, so the Castaneda family is a big family in our area, and these 2 sisters were particularly involved in our school district. So we are saddened at the loss, and it's difficult to go from cheering and being so excited about winning the game to a tragedy like this.
It really is. It adds to the sadness here. They were driving this bus, and we keep using the word bus, but this was to draw sort of a mental picture, almost like a shuttle van. Is that right, that the cheerleaders were riding on?
It's called an activity bus, I believe.
Okay. And do you have any word? We have been in contact with law enforcement and DPS troopers overnight and all morning. Is there any word about what led to this crash?
I have no official information on that.
Okay. Let me just ask you this. As you guys move forward this week, is there discussion? What are the plans for how you help students? You know, as we know, some of the band students were in a bus behind them. The football players, this is a tight-knit community. How do you move forward from here?
Well, we will unite and come together and support one another. Iraan is an amazing community with incredible exes who are around the state are sending their love and prayers, and we've made it through other tragedies, and I'm sure we'll make it through this one too.
Ms. Holmes, we thank you so much for taking time. We hope you will stay with us and let us know how we can help you and help your community and get the message out for you about what Iraan and Sheffield need in this time. Thank you so much for being here with this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, we have crews all across West Texas this morning who are working to get you the latest details and also make some confirmations about the conditions and the people who were involved in this crash. We are in Iraan as that community is now forced to deal with this tragic turn of events. So we want to begin our live coverage right now with our team. CBS 7's Sarah Holden was first on the scene overnight in the Big Spring area. She joins us now live with the latest on the condition of the people in the crash and how things are moving along there. Sarah, what can you tell us?
The activity surrounding the Iraan bus crash has slowed down a little bit here at Scenic Mountain Medical Center here in Big Spring. I was just inside of the hospital in a couple of the waiting rooms, and I actually didn't see anyone inside. I spoke to some of the hospital administration staff who tells me that the majority of the people who were here from Iraan started leaving around somewhere between 4:30 and 5 in the morning, and they also told me that the remainder of those visitors and family members left when the victims were transported to another hospital in Lubbock. Now, they couldn't tell me which hospital it was due to HIPAA codes and violations, but I also confirmed with one of our spokespersons from Iraan ISD that the victims have been transported to Lubbock. Now, I also talked to the hospital PR representative, Amanda Duforet, who tells me that due to the nature of the situation, no more information is being available from Scenic Mountain Medical Center, and the medical center will not be making a statement. She said, as always, through the entire event, the main focus was to take care of the patients and just to provide the best quality care. She also tells me that they are sorry that this hospital cannot provide us with any more information. As we know, weather was obviously a factor in this accident, so I'm going to send it over to our weather authority, Tom Teeverteller, for more information. Tom?
Sarah, thank you. Yes, here's a look at the radar picture last night from 9 to about midnight last night on Friday evening. Now, temperatures were well above freezing out there, but we did have areas of light rain that did make roads a little slick out there, also causing a decrease in visibility. We're going to zoom in now on the Big Spring area, and this down here is the visibility indicator out at the airport there on the west side of Big Spring, showing you that the visibility ranged from 3 to 7 miles as those showers did move across the interstate there between 9 and midnight, again making roads slick and making for some hazardous travel out there across the area. So that was a factor out there to deal with last night, was the rain and some areas of light fog that were moving across the Big Spring area again between 9 and midnight last night. Tatum?
Tom, thank you so very much. They pulled up right behind that crash. Because of the massive traffic backup that this crash caused, that bus could not get out. And so we want you to take a look at this video as well, as the Big Spring School District sent their own buses to help in this scenario. Those Big Spring ISD buses helped to transport Iraan students home. Another great example of West Texans and communities who have come together in a moment of tragedy. We've had so many people reaching out on social media from all over, many from the Big Spring area, saying that they are praying, and they were quick to jump into action and help these kids get back home. You can imagine how terrified their parents must have been, those who were already home in Iraan and just wanting to hug those babies and see their own children. The story hits home with so many people in the West Texas area and all across the country. In fact, the hashtag Pray for Iraan is already trending right now. We're also seeing an image that reads Pray for Iraan all over social media as people change their profile pictures and send messages. You're looking at some pictures right now of the Iraan football team and the cheerleaders. Such a happy happy time for that area, for their school as they continue to promote and move forward in the playoffs. Lots of people are posting all across the country that they are praying. This really hits home for so many of us who have children who are in extracurricular activities. You really stop to think, what would it be like? You can understand fully what it would be like to have a child who is traveling down these roads, whether it's in band or cheerleader or football players. It hits home and it helps you to understand that this could be your child as well. A couple of things we want to bring you up to date on as well. We have been told, according to the Chamber of Commerce in Iraan and Sheffield area, they have postponed tonight's plan for Santa's visit and the light up event for the Christmas holiday. They're going to be providing further details, but right now that has been postponed for tonight. And I also want to let you know, a lot of people are wondering what happened with this crash. We have been in contact with DPS troopers who are investigating all night, overnight, into the morning, and a lot of this will become now a process. So we have been told from DPS troopers we will be finding out more about what led to this crash later in the afternoon. As you can imagine, this happened late. Lots of people were working and investigating overnight into the very early morning hours. They have some paperwork to complete and fill out, maybe even try to go home and get a little bit of sleep. So we anticipate finding out a lot of details as we continue to work this story and move through the day about what led to the crash. And of course, we have our crews who are remaining in Iraan and the Sheffield area to try to connect with some of these families as they share with us what it was like to learn this information last night. So I want to give you just one more recap if you are just joining us, and we're going to take a look at some video from last night. We have confirmed within about the last half hour, according to the school board president in Iraan, that one person was killed in this bus crash. 52-year-old Liz Castaneda Pope, who was the cheerleading sponsor, died in this crash last night. We are also told her sister, who was also a cheer sponsor, Christina Castaneda Garlock, was severely injured as well. She has been transferred to a hospital in Lubbock. We're told that she has been moved to a private room, so we hope that that is good news. We also know that 3 cheerleaders remain in the hospital tonight with multiple injuries, and several other cheerleaders were injured. Many of those have been released to go home to their families, but injuries and those 3 cheerleaders who are still in the hospital. We are going to stay on this story throughout the day and, of course, bring you any information that we have. We have crews working this case, this story everywhere. So stay with us on social media and throughout the day. Thank you so much for joining us for this live update on this breaking news out of Iraan.
Iraan bus carrying cheerleaders was involved in a crash tonight.
We are heartbroken, and our community is grieving.
Cheers turned to mourning in the city of Iraan. After winning the quarterfinal football game against Monday in Colorado City Friday night, the Iraan Braves head home. Tragedy struck as a bus carrying Iraan cheerleaders passed through Big Spring between mile marker 174 and 176. An 18-wheeler careened across the median on Interstate 20, slamming into the bus full of the Iraan cheerleaders. This is what we know so far. 8 people were transported to Scenic Mountain Medical Center. A sponsor traveling with the team, Liz Castaneda Pope, died at the hospital. As the night went on, 3 of those transported were released. 3 cheerleaders and Liz's sister, Christina Garlock, were transferred to University Medical Center in Lubbock. So far, 1 cheerleader has been released. The 2 others are in stable condition. Christina Garlock is in serious but stable condition tonight. Moving to Lubbock, that's where 3 of the victims are currently recovering. CBS 7's Amanda DeBerry joins us now live from the hospital with the latest on their conditions. Amanda, good evening.
Jay, as you just mentioned, I have been here at the University Medical Center in Lubbock since earlier today, speaking to the families of each victim. Now, here's just a quick rundown of each of their conditions. Right now, Christina Garlock, she had surgery earlier today. Right now, she is According to her family, all of her injuries are in her right ankle and also her femur she had broke. Now she's possibly going to have surgery sometime next week, so she probably will not be released until early next Friday. Now, as far as Katie Kent, we also spoke to her family, her mother and her dad, and they are saying that she is also recovering. She has been moved from the pediatric IC care unit, and now she's moved into a regular room where she is there recovering as well. Now, right now, she may have to wear a neck brace for at least 3 weeks and also a back brace for 6 to 8 weeks. She is scheduled to leave the hospital on tomorrow to go home and to recover. And then as far as Kiara Hodge, she's doing well. They are performing an MRI test right now on her, so we'll update you more with her condition. There has been a a bank account set up for all the victims that you can donate. For now, these are all the updated conditions for all the victims. Live in Lubbock, Amanda DeBerry, CBS 7 News.
Amanda, thanks very much. This evening, CBS 7 received a traffic report that has shed some light on exactly what happened last night. That report from the Department of Public Safety states that the cheerleader bus crashed into a freight liner towing a semi-trailer just 1 mile west of Big Spring on Interstate 20. The 2 male passengers of the freight liner managed to avoid injury, but cheerleading sponsor Liz Pope was later pronounced dead at Scenic Mountain Medical Center. Liz's sister, Christina Garlock, another adult passenger in the bus, was also transported to the hospital with serious injuries, along with 6 other teenage passengers, all members of the cheer squad. The report also confirmed that road conditions were wet from falling rain. Meanwhile, just as the crash unfolded, DPS reports a black Dodge Challenger stopped at the scene but left a short time later without DPS troopers getting any information from the driver. The driver was labeled as a key witness. Today, that driver contacted the department, and investigators say they gave them a better understanding of what happened on Friday night. DPS spokesperson Oscar Villarreal says the driver may have seen what caused a car in front of the 18-wheeler to slam on its brakes, causing that crash. The community of Iraan is mourning, as we said, after the cheerleader sponsor Liz Pope died in that bus crash last night. Our crew spent the entire day in the tight-knit community. CBS 7's Stephanie Bennett spoke with a friend of Pope's. She has her reaction.
Pray for Iraan. That's the overall message today in the tight-knit town, as the community is still processing yesterday's fatal crash.
There's so much support here from everybody, from all the families, coaches, surrounding communities. And
like many others, Lori Kennedy has spent her whole life here. Her son, too, who plays on the high school football team. Your son had been on that bus.
Can't even imagine that.
But on the cheerleaders' bus was Liz Pope, the cheer team's sponsor, who died in the accident.
She was very caring, always happy, always smiling, very sweet with all the kids.
Kennedy remembers her friend just yesterday, Pope goofing around in this headdress.
She came in and put it back and said she would be back next week to wear it again. So it'll stay there forever.
And a final message to the Pope family.
We're praying for you, and we're going to get through it.
That was Stephanie Bennett reporting. As the community mourns, one Iraan teen is thankful tonight to be alive after being thrown from the bus by the force of the impact. Tonight, she shares her experience of being pulled from the wreckage by strangers. In an exclusive interview, CBS 7's Alexa Dunson finds shock and raw emotion as the team pieces together what happened.
It was an exciting game for the Iraan Braves, ending in a playoff win and leaving the team one step closer to a state championship. But no one could predict what would happen shortly after the Friday night victory.
All I heard was slam on the brakes, and everybody just suddenly went forward really fast.
Nalea De Luna is a freshman on the junior varsity cheer team. Just a few short hours removed from the horror of the crash, she's still in disbelief about what happened.
I flew all the way forward and out the bus. I thought I was the only one alive. I thought everybody else had died. I remember Miss Pope's body was on me.
A break in her leg, a sprained ankle, a concussion, and a few scratches. Liz Pope, however, was later pronounced dead at Scenic Mountain Medical Center in Big Spring. Although Nalea's injuries will soon heal, her mother is thankful her teenage daughter escaped the deadly crash alive.
I would have gone crazy if something would have happened to her. She's my pride.
These girls have rallied behind their team and community all season long, but now they're needing some support of their own.
Together, Ariane will move on together.
In Iraan, Alexa Dunson, CBS 7 News.
Alexa, thanks. We end our team coverage tonight out of Big Spring, the original scene of the crash, where just hours ago, DPS troopers worked to recreate the scene in hopes of getting a better idea of what happened on that tragic Friday night. CBS 7's Sarah Holden brings us that update from Big Spring.
Well, right now, as you can see over my shoulder, DPS is back on location here at I-20 in Big Spring between mile marker 174 and 176, where this tragedy occurred on Friday evening. Right now, they're attempting to figure out what exactly transpired, trying to retrace the steps of what it was that happened here on Friday night. Right now, they do have all 4 lanes of highway blocked off. Both westbound and eastbound traffic is being diverted to the service roads, and everybody is asked to take these roads and to take the detour that they have set up. Now, there will be a DPS report coming out, but it will likely not be out tonight, and it might even take a few days for this report to come out.